Hey there. So, this experience that I want to share with you has to do with a creature that I seen in Narrows, Virginia. Um, I drive a big truck, a semi truck, for my job. And at the time, I was going from Salem, Virginia to Charleston, West Virginia. So, my route would include going on 460. And 460 through Narrows, if you're not familiar, if you look on Google Maps, there's an area 460 west going towards West Virginia. There's an arc in the roadway right through there, and then 460 east going back towards Roanoke and Salem goes right beside the New River. Well, in that arc or where it curves up, there's like a embankment, like a cliff in there, and they have landslides quite often through there. And this is where that happened. I seen the creature in the median right there. So basically, I drive at night, and I do two routes. So I go up 460 twice. So I was on my way back from my first trip. It was about 1:30 in the morning, and so I'm at the bottom, close to the river, and often through that area, you'll see just a variety of animals that I think come off the mountain and go down to the river to get water or fish or food or whatever, right? So just always aware of the animals through there. Well, when I was coming down, another tractor trailer passed me further back. So they were on up far enough where I could use my bright lights and it wouldn't affect them. So I'm coming through there, and I seen in the left, I'm in the right lane. In the median to the left, I see something moving around. And it's sort of big, so automatically I'm thinking there's a deer, because there's a ton of deer in Virginia. And then I noticed that it's moving really weird. So I'm thinking that the truck that just, passed me, was ahead of me. I thought maybe they hit the deer and it's still alive, because it was moving around and it was moving really weird. Not like a normal deer movement that you get used to. So I slowed down because I was going to take a look, and if it did get hit, I would call the local police and they would come and take care of it so it doesn't suffer. And also, I didn't want it to run back out into the road and me hit it again, hurt it more, or damage the truck. So I slowed down. There weren't any cars around me. And when I slowed down, I was looking, and it was moving so weirdly. And I was like, this isn't a deer. And I wasn't sure what it was. And as I come up on it, I slowed down, a little more. And the only lights, of course, that are on it are my bright lights where it shines on the side, of the truck, or on the, the sides, because it has got your brights on. So that's the only light I have. There's no like street lights through there. So this thing, I'm coming up on it, and when you see something that is unexpected or unnatural or something you're not used to, like for example, if you've ever seen a car wreck where somebody gets ejected, or you go by a car wreck where maybe somebody passed away and you either see them or there's a sheet over them. I mean, it jolts your body. It's like your brain is trying to process something it doesn't like, or it's not used to, or if you've ever been on the interstate and there's a wreck that happens and you're trying to avoid it, it's like a fight or flight thing. Like you get that adrenaline rush jolt to your system. And that's what I got when I seen this thing, because it was so, something I've never experienced. So when I'm passing it, it's got reddish brown fur. It's about 8 foot tall, and it's walking on 2 legs. So it's walking like at a slow pace but steady. But from like its waist up, it's gyrating back and forth like a washing machine. Like, that's the only thing I can think of. it's not going all the way around, but it's like from one side to the other very quickly, unnaturally, such in a movement that it just, it just shocked me. And this thing was like 8 foot tall, and when I'm passing it, I'm just like, you get, like I said before, it's like that, your brain is like, what the heck, trying to process this. So at one point, right when I'm passing it, when it's gyrating back and it's facing the road, I look at its head and, to try to get a better understanding of what this is. And its head or skull is very, it's sort of like a deer or a dog, but it's really big, and it's pointed, more pointed than a deer, more like a fox maybe, but it's way bigger than a fox. And I didn't see any teeth. I didn't see any ears that I remember, but its fur was so bushy, sort of like a fox tail, the bushy that just sticks out. That's the way its fur was. So I don't know if it had little small ears that I couldn't see. And then its eyes were dark. There was no reflection. I didn't see a color, but of course it's just my side lights, against it. It wasn't like a direct deer in headlights type of thing. So I passed it, and I have that like sick feeling, probably like that adrenaline. And I'm, just thinking to myself, what did I just see? And I'm trying to process it. So on my route, I would go on down 460 and eventually get on 81 and go back to Salem to where the terminal was. So I dropped those trailers. It's pulling pup trailers, so I dropped those trailers, and then I have to set up another set of pup trailers and take those back up to Princeton, West Virginia, and then come back going on 460 all over again. So I'm like still like sort of in shock over this thing, and I'm thinking, well, when I go through there again, I'll look for it, because it looked like it was heading back up, towards 460 West, which is on top, and then up into the mountains or whatever. So when I'm getting ready to come through there again, I didn't see anything. And then I remembered there's a second driver from my terminal that does the second Charleston run. So I knew he would be coming through there. So I called him and I was like, do you mind? I told him the situation, and he was like, oh yeah, that's really freaky. I've never seen that. I've never heard of that, And I asked him, I said, do you mind looking and, tell me if you see it? So he was like, all right, well, hold on the line with me, because I'm getting ready to go through there now. So he looked and slowed down. There wasn't any cars. He didn't see anything. I switched out in Princeton, was bringing other trailers back. I didn't see anything on my way back. So that's the only experience I've had with that creature, and the only time that I've ever seen it. I've never seen or experienced anything exactly like that, or very similar to that before. Now, secondly, in the same area of Narrows, about 2 months before that, I did that route for like almost a year and a half. So about 2 months before that, I was coming 460 East, and there's some type of manufacturing plant called Celanese in there. And as you're coming around Celanese, the 460 East, the road sort of curves around their parking lot. There are a lot of lights, like street lights in there, because I guess a lot of people work there, and they have it lit up to avoid wrecks, I'm guessing. So I was coming through there, and I seen something in, like, they have a real skinny median that's sort of deep. I'm guessing, deeper than like a regular median. I'm guessing there's some type of water like culvert through there or something. It's just my guess. But I seen a creature that was hunched over, and he was pulling his neck up like maybe he was eating and pulling meat off of something that had died in that median. And that creature, my light shined right on it. It had like goldish brown fur, but I didn't know what it was because it was way bigger than any coyote that I've ever seen. If it was a dog, it had to have been like a Great Dane mixed with something that's got really long fur. And it just didn't have the, it just didn't come across to me as a dog. I mean, obviously dogs can mix and they can look all different ways, but it was just odd. Now, it could have been a huge coyote. A couple of times in West Virginia, I seen these things. They were like super oversized coyotes, and you know, it freaks you out. Like, God, you know, I didn't know a coyote could get that big, and it's scary. I mean, coyotes could be scary anyway. And all up through that area, you see them constantly. And I was telling my uncle, and he said, well, there's sometimes coyotes can mix with wolves and it'll look like a coyote but be really big, like really tall with really long legs. And that had to have been what I've seen up in West Virginia. And you can even look that up on YouTube for the coyote hybrid wolf things. I don't know the proper name for it. So I don't know if that was what it was in the median right there, but it looked even bigger than one of those. And then again, same routes. I went down, switched out, and on all my trips through there, you know, the 3 trips through there again, I didn't see it again. But I sort of dismissed that because, I mean, I didn't get a clear picture, so I'm more of a skeptic, honestly, on stuff than always blaming it on something unexplained and paranormal and creepy, because normally there is an explanation for it. But I just, you know, after I seen that other creature that was unexplained, it just seemed weird to me to see 2 things like that in the same area, or 2 creatures in the same area that I don't really know what it was. So if you want to share this video with some friends, if you know somebody that lives in that area or drives through there, if another truck driver goes through there on their route, which I know a ton of trucks go through there, it's a cut through from 77 to 81, and it saves you a lot of time, so a lot of trucks do go through there. Share this with them, and maybe they've seen that same creature, and if they have, I would love to hear from them, because I think it would be cool just to hear their take on it, and just to know that, you know, more people seen it. Like, I'm so intrigued and want to hear what their experience is, and if they've like come like face to face with it, or other than just going by in a car or whatever. And I'm just real interested to get this out there to see if anybody else seen it. So anyway, my email is paranormalportfolio@gmail.com. If anybody wants to share an experience that they've had of a creature like that, or any creatures through Narrows, Virginia in there, that would be really neat. And look forward to my other videos, because I've got a couple more things that happened up in West Virginia that I'll tell you about. All right, take care.